Hello there, I'm Mrs. Groovy Groves and I'm here to help you with one-step equation with integers. I took the liberty to break out the sides to left side, right side, and I started the thinking box, okay? So looking at number 1, you will ask yourself the question of what's going on with V. Well, it's being subtracted by 10, and to undo would be to add 10. So let's add 10 to both sides. I would like to use blue here. So we add 10 to the left and we add 10 to the right. And I draw a line underneath. As you can see, this right here, you see your plus, minus, minus, plus. That's always great, so because that'll get you a 0, okay? So you slash it. V is left over. And then you have negative 9 plus 10. If you need to rewrite it to go horizontal, then do so. If you know what negative 9 plus 10 is, you should know that is positive 1. Okay, moving on to number 2. So, what's going on with V? Well, it's being subtracted by 10, so we need to add 10 to both sides. So we add plus 10 to the left and 10 to the right. Little line underneath. You see the minus, plus, plus, minus, so you know that zeroes out, cancel. And now you have negative 3 plus 10, and if you need to write it over here on the side or wherever, negative 3 plus 10 is 7. All right, number 3. All right, so the opposite of 3 is, the opposite of subtracting by 3 is to add 3. So we're going to add 3 to the left and we'll add 3 to the right. As you can see, this will zero out. You see opposite signs, which is great. X equals 4 plus 3, 7. Okay, I think I'm just going to stay on the left side and then I'll mosey on over to the right side. All right, so normally the variable's on the left and now here it's on the right. If this bothers you, you can rewrite it so that you can see it the other way. If it doesn't bother you, so what? Who cares? You just keep moving. But K is being multiplied right now by negative 11. So that means we need to divide by negative 11. So we use a fraction bar to represent division. And this right here, a negative 11 divided by a negative 11 is a positive 1. That's how we get positive 1K on the left. And a positive 22 divided by a negative 11 gives us a negative 2. So K equals negative 2. 7. What's going on with B? Well, it's being subtracted by 7, and to uno reverse it would be to add 7. So we add 7 to the left, and we add 7 to the right. You see opposite signs, woohoo! So cancel, and now you have negative 1 plus 7. Negative 1 plus 7 is positive 6. All right, on 9, ask yourself this question. What's going on with P? Well, it's being multiplied by negative 5. So the opposite to undo would be to divide by negative 5. So you can divide the negative 5 on the right and on the left. And take a look at this. Negative 5 divided by negative 5 is a positive 1. That's how you get positive 1p. And negative 40 divided by negative 5 is a positive 8. So you say 8 is equal to p. And again, if you don't like the way it's written, flip the sides. It doesn't matter. Just flip the left and right sides and you can see it like that if that's what you prefer. Okay, so this one here, you have a divided by 29 is equal to 5. I rewrite it because there's not enough space over here on what I got to do. So a is being divided by 29, And the opposite of that would be to times by 29. So we use hugs on the left, and we have hugs on the right. So 29 divided by 29, those 29s essentially cancel, and that's how we get 1A. And you might have to go over here on the side and do a little side calculation, because I can't multiply horizontal like that. I got to do this mumbo jumbo on the side. So I would get 145. A is equal to 145. All right, moving on to 13. So what's going on with x? Well, it's being subtracted by 11, so we need to add 11. So let's add 11 to the left side and to the right side. As you can see, we see opposite signs to produce our 0. So this cancels out. X equals, and 16 plus 11 is 27. Okay, now I'm going to do the evens on this page. So let's go back to number 4. This problem needs to be rewritten because I don't have enough space due to this right here. So x is being divided by 5, which means we need to times by 5. So I like saying hugs because parentheses kind of like reminds me of hugs. And we have 5 over 1 on the left and 5, just a regular 5 on the right. These 5s, because you'll have 5 divided by 5, cancel. That's how you get positive 1x. And 2 times 5 is 10. All right, number 6. M is being multiplied by negative 13, which means we need to divide by negative 13. So a fraction bar on the left and on the right, negative 13. As you can see, negative 13 divided by negative 13 gives me a positive 1. You get positive 1m. And then 377, oh, we got to do a little side calc over here. 13 goes on the outside and 377 goes on the in the inside. So 13 divided into 37 is 2. That would be 26. And that's 11. And bring down the 7. And 13 divides into 117. It goes in beautifully 9 times. And then that's it. So m equals 29. And you have a negative divided by a negative, so you should know your answer was positive. All right, if 8 triggers you at all, you can rewrite it if that's better for you. If it doesn't, move on. It doesn't matter. P is being subtracted by 13, which means we need to add 13. So we're going to add 13 to the left, and we add 13 to the right. As you can see, we have opposite signs to produce that 0 pair. So P equals, all right, let's think real hard. You have negative 8 plus 13. That's addition rule number 2. You subtract and you have more positive. So P equals 5. All right, I'll rewrite number 10 just because A is being multiplied by negative 22, which means we need to divide by negative 22. So fraction bar on the left and on the right, and we divide this by negative 22. As you can see, this right here, negative 22 divided by negative 22 gives me a positive 1. That's how you get a positive 1a. And a positive divided by a negative gives me a negative. I know my answer is 100% negative, but I gotta do a little side calc, and if I do, that means you do too. 22 divides into 41 one time, and then you subtract, and you borrow, and you do your subtraction thing, and bring down the 8, and then 22 divides into 198, I I think 9 times 2 is 18. Carry 9 times 2. Oh, it works itself out beautifully. And A would equal a negative 19. All right, number 12. I got M divided by 16 equals negative 2. So M is being divided by 16, which means we need to times by 16. So we have hugs on the left and hugs on the right. 16 over 1 and just a normal 16. These 16s now cancel because they'll equal 1. So that's how we get 1M. And a negative times a positive is a negative. And again, do a little side calculation if you need to figure out 16 times 2. But I know it already. It'll be negative 32. All right, 14. X is being subtracted by 21, which means we need to add 21. So add 21 to the right and add 21 to the left. As you can see, you see the minus plus plus minus, it cancels, leaving us with X. And then this over here, you have negative 10 plus 21. That's rule number 2, which means you would subtract and you would have more positive, so X equals 11. All right, other side, 15. I'm going to rewrite this because I want to. N is being divided by 4, which means we times by 4. So hugs on the left and on the right. I have 4 over 1 and just a normal 4. These 4s will cancel, leaving us with 1N. And 20 times 4 is 80. All right, B is being subtracted by 6, so we need to add 6. So we add 6 on the right and we add 6 on the left. As you can see, you get your minus plus, you get your 0 right there. So we have B equals negative 19 plus 6. You should be pretty confident with these numbers now with the rules. That would be 13. And you have more negative, so B equals negative 13. What I can do right here, I could say X minus 9. I could say X plus negative 9 is equal to negative 26. Or I could just simply say X minus 9 is equals to negative 26, okay? Essentially, X is being subtracted by 9. To undo would be to add 9. So we add 9 to the left and we add 9 to the right. This will cancel. X equals negative 17. All right, I have X divided by 18 is equal to 21. Since X is being divided by 18, we need to times by 18. So I'll times this by 18 over 1 on the left and 18 on the right. These 18s cancel, leaving me with 1x, leaving us with 1x. And maybe you need to do a little side calculation over here, ladies and gentlemen. But 21 times 18, I'm going to have to speed this up a little bit, is 378. (21) times 18. Let me double check. Yep, it's 378. And just so you know, because I mean, you would have 8, 16, 1, 2. You need to add. Okay? You can't use calculators in this unit, remember? Uh-oh. I'm going to rewrite this just because I want to. So M is being subtracted by 16, which means we add 16. So we add 16 to the left and add 16 to the right. And we see our minus plus minus, leaving us with M. And 6 plus 16 is 22. All right, I got negative 84n is equal to 168. So n is being multiplied by negative 84, which means we need to divide by negative 84. Okay, so fraction bar. Negative 84. This ends up getting us a positive 1, leaving us with positive 1n. And a positive divided by a negative is in fact a negative. So I know my answer is negative, 100%. Now we need to do a little side calc. How many times is 84 divided into 168? Oh, what? That goes in twice. That was easy. So my answer is negative 2. All right, I have x divided by 15 is equal to 11. So x is being divided by 15, which means we need to times by 15. So let's use parentheses, everybody. 15 over 1, 15. Bye-bye 15s, they cancel out. X equals, oh, we got to do a little side calc. This is where you should pause the video and you should do it yourself instead of watching me. 5, 6, 1. X equals 165. All right, now the evens. Let's go to the evens. Okay. So, n is being subtracted by 29, so we add 29. So I have add 29 to the left, add 29 to the right. As you can see, we have opposite signs right here to give us that 0, leaving us with n on the left, and negative 53 plus 29 would be 24. Let's see something, and that would be negative because we have more negative. All right, I'm going to rewrite this negative 16 plus n. You don't have to. I'm just going to leave it there. I mean, it's essentially, if you flip-flop them, if you flip-flop these two, you could say n minus 16. So n is essentially being subtracted by 16, so we need to add 16. Remember, because you need a plus, minus, minus, plus to get a 0 pair. So we add 16 to both sides. See the minus plus, plus minus? 0, gone. So negative 8 plus 16. Negative 8 plus 16. That's subtract those two numbers and you have more positive. So n is equal to 8. All right. This 29 is a positive 29. If you wanted to, you can rewrite it to n plus 29. But since 29 is being added, we need to subtract it. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? I put minus 29. So we subtract the 29 on the left and subtract the 29 on the right. These cancel, leaving us 0. And now I have 13 minus 29. Let's karate chop that to 13 plus negative 29. You have more negative. If you subtract 29 and 13 from each other, you would get 16. So that would be negative 16. Okay, k is being added by 1, so we need to subtract 1. Subtract 1 on the left and on the right. Okay, 1 minus 1. I mean, you see opposite signs anyway, so k equals. Now let's go on the side here. Negative 27 minus 1. Karate chop. Negative 27 plus negative 1. That's rule number 1. Add them up and keep the sign. So K equals negative 28. Alrighty. Moving on. Alright, we got 3 more. Whew. V is being added by 29, so we need to subtract 29. So subtract 29 on the left and subtract 29 on the right. As you can see, we have opposite signs, so they go away. And I have V minus 29. So let's karate chop it to 5 plus negative 29. And you would subtract the absolute values. And you would get negative 24 because you have more negative. Alrighty, so V is being multiplied by 41, so we need to divide by 41. So fraction bar, 41 on both sides. 41 divided by 41, that's how you get your positive 1K. I know that a negative divided by a positive is a negative. So my answer is 100% negative. Now let's do a little side calculation. Let's just take the absolute value of both those numbers. Okay, so how many times do you think that 41 divides into 274? I would maybe say 6 times. 6, 24. I mean, you borrow. That would be an 8. That would be a 2. Bring down the 7. Oh, 7. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 4 is 28. Oh, it goes in beautifully. That's negative 67. All right, I have x divided by 64 is equal to negative 71. So x is being divided by 64, which means we times by 64. Hugs on the left, hugs on the right. On the left, those 64 numbers would cancel, leaving us with 1x. I know that a negative divided by a positive is a negative. Oh, we got to do a little side calc. 71 times 64. All right, well, I hope you know your times tables by now. We need to add these up. I get 4, 14, carry 5, 4. So I get negative. My answer is going to end up being negative 4,544. Ooh, that's a big number. Let me double check something like super fast. All right, and that was it. Woohoo! We are done. I hope I have helped you out. This is Mrs. Groovy Grove signing out. Have a wonderful day.